Hello, friends. Welcome back to my car. We are here back-to-back style. Ooh, the lighting is weird today, isn't it, friends? Yes, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my beautiful Nissan Maxima SR, courtesy of Chamonix Nissan, Quebec's #1 rated Nissan dealership. A few guys cracking wise this week. Have you noticed? No hoodie today. No hoodie. Still a sweater. No hoodie today, as I've calmed down after I ranted and raved about my lack of tolerance for a terrible, terrible winter. But I gotta open up with the Montreal Canadiens, who played yet another entertaining game, losing 8-4 in Winnipeg last night. Of course, they started their Canadian road trip with a 2-1 win in Ottawa on Saturday. We'll see how this team responds when they go to Canada, Alabama, a.k.a. Calgary, Alberta. That's coming up tomorrow. It's a 9 o'clock puck drop. They're in Edmonton Saturday night, and then in Vancouver next week before the Canadiens come home. But look, I mean, this team lost 8-4 in Winnipeg, and what had to have been one of the wildest games I've seen in a long time. Obviously, Winnipeg scores 4 times on their first 10 shots. Sam Montembeault, to me, looked bad on 2 of the first 4 goals that he let in. And I think, this is the first time I think I saw Martin St. Louis in over his head. Obviously, we're all fully aware of the lack of experience that comes with Martin St. Louis, the old jokes, the Pee Wee coach, blah, 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 blah. But yesterday, with the amount of penalties this team got caught, especially Brendan Gallagher in the game's third period. Look, the Montreal Canadiens, came back from 4-0 down and then gave up the next 4 goals. All 4 goals that Winnipeg scored en route to that 8-4 win were all scored on the power play. And Brendan Gallagher got caught with some bad decisions with his stick and holding and high sticking. And just, a very, very frustrated Brendan Gallagher. And Dan Robertson, who joined us this morning on the TSN 690 morning show, along with myself and my partner, Connor McKenna, was talking about Brendan Gallagher and how somber he sounded. Josh Anderson scored a hat trick, his first as an NHLer. And look, I mean, he sounded upbeat, positive. Individually, he had a very strong game, as did his line. But Brendan Gallagher is in this funk. He is in this funk big time, and he sounded so down. And after he gave his answers to all the questions he was asked yesterday, he let out this long, loud expletive. So he's a very frustrated player. How bad are things right now for Brendan Gallagher? Awful. No goals since November 20th. He has 3 points since then. So we're talking about 16 or 17 games here. And 2 of those assists, he has 3 assists. 2 of those assists came in a game. So offensively, offense goes to die when the puck is on Brendan Gallagher's stick. And I don't know what's going to happen. We've heard, from some of the people on TSN 690, does he miss Phil Deneau? Thomas Tatar's not there. Brendan Gallagher searching for answers. I don't know how much I buy into that. Remember, Brendan Gallagher was the spark plug, right? Like, he was the guy, if a line wasn't going, Brendan Gallagher was the guy that was inserted into the lineup, whether it was the first line or the fourth line. Brendan Gallagher was the go-to guy. So I'm impressed with what I saw from the Montreal Canadiens, individual performances aside. 5-on-5, I thought they were strong. And if they had average goaltending, they don't even need great goaltending. If they had average goaltending, the Canadiens win that game. We're talking about a team going to Calgary on a 6-game heater, which takes me to the Winnipeg Jets. And man, what a sad sack of losers this team is. I was never a buyer of the Revenga angle of this game, right? If I need to explain that to you, I guess I will. In game 1 of the second round of the playoffs last year, Jake Evans gets buried by Mark Scheifele with no time left. The cheap shot of cheap shots of the playoffs last year. Scheifele gets suspended. Evans is concussed. Scheifele never plays again, and the Canadiens don't lose a game to Winnipeg en route to a 4-game sweep. And that's it. Like, how can you get better revenge than the player that was responsible for the hit never sees the ice again, and B, the team he plays for never wins a game in the series. So, yeah, you got swept by the terrible Montreal Canadiens. What more revenge do you need than that? Which takes us to 5'9" Chris Weidman fighting 6'3" Mark Scheifele, and Scheifele pumping up and waving to the crowd after he tangles with Chris Weidman, who, by the way, never landed a punch on Mark Scheifele at all. And you got this donkey, Mark Scheifele, waving his hands to the crowd and trying to pump up this crowd. Dude, you are up 4-0. You scored 4 goals on an American Hockey League goaltender, and you gave up 4 unanswered to one of the worst teams this year in the National Hockey League, and you fought a guy who's not even 6 foot, and you're pumping the crowd like you're some bleeping hero? Get over yourself, Mark Scheifele. This is why the Winnipeg Jets are losers. It's why they're going nowhere. They're led by a nobody. They're led by a team that has nothing going for them. They should be sellers instead of buyers. You know, they'd lost 4 in a row before winning 5-3 in Arizona, and they come back and they play at home and barely get by one of the worst teams in hockey. Get out of here, the Winnipeg Jets, pumping the tires of your fans because you beat up 5'9" Chris Weidman, who wasn't even on the team last year. Come on now, so stupid, just so ridiculous. And the Winnipeg Jets don't impress me. They look like a fragile group of players going nowhere fast. And you saw it last night. Not impressed whatsoever. I mean, we're talking about the definition of impressive. We're talking about Cole Caulfield. We're talking about Nick Suzuki. We're talking about Josh Anderson. Together, combined, 22 points in 6 games, looking very much like a legitimate number 1 line for the Montreal Canadiens. And this team looks good, looks positive, looks like they've got swagger. Josh Anderson getting his first career hat trick, feeling positive in the aftermath of a game like last night. And Martin St. Louis, who got a lot of coaching advice from John Tortorella, who no doubt has made huge gains, positive impressions, left, right, and center since he took over from Dominic Ducharme. And I think now we're in the process of this team under St. Louis learning on the fly. And I'm fine with that. Truthfully, I'm fine with that. Like, I do believe the honeymoon is more or less over. And I do believe that the Montreal Canadiens, their minds are still made up. Nothing has changed. Knowing that they're no longer the worst team in the league, nothing has changed as far as what I believe their strategy will be, moving 2, maybe as many as 3 bodies between now and March 21st, with Ben Sherratt likely gone, and down the list we go. I have a hard time imagining Jeff Petrie is going to be moved at this point, but Ken Hughes is doing business, and my understanding is that it's not really a collaborative effort, that Ken Hughes, and I was wrong about this. My read at the time, when the organization lets go of Marc Bergevin, Jeff Gordon gets hired. Jeff Gordon hires Ken Hughes. And I remember saying at the time that, well, it seems obvious, right? The Canadiens have prioritized politics over wins for arguably my entire life. And they bring in a guy from Boston who doesn't speak a lick of French to be the VP of the Montreal Canadiens. It made logical sense in my brain, did it not? That obviously they're going to hire a guy who speaks French, who's probably from Quebec, because you have to appease the majority of people here, right? Like, never forget the Montreal Canadiens are in the playoffs. The Montreal Canadiens are going to the Stanley Cup final for the first time in a quarter century. And you got donkeys asking about, what do you think about the fact that there aren't a lot of good Chez-Nous on this team going to the Stanley Cup final? What do you think about the fact that the Bell Center soundtrack to a game has too much English music in it? This is the province we live in. This is the world we're in. Like, it defies logic. So you're left with nothing but that conclusion, unless my thinking is wrong, that you have Jeff Gordon, a guy from Boston, an Anglophone, running the Montreal Canadiens. He's going to hire a French guy, obviously, right? But he hires a guy who spent the last 20-plus years living in Boston. His kids go to American universities, and he speaks West Island French. French is an incredibly difficult language to learn, master, and nail down when you're being asked to switch between English and French. It's very difficult, even for a guy like Martin St. Louis, who's born and raised in Laval. It's not easy. And so I really thought that they're going to hire basically a puppet, is what I'm saying. That you're going to have Gordon behind the scenes, as the puppeteer, pulling the strings. My understanding today, right here, right now, on this second day of March, that is not true. That Jeff Gordon is behind the scenes doing what a VP of Hockey Ops does, and Kent Hughes is the man with the plan, with his team, making moves, and moves are coming. So I'm optimistic. I was telling somebody at the gym yesterday, I honestly believe this, and call me out if we're wrong here. The Montreal Canadiens in the year 2022 have reprioritized wins over politics. I believe that with every ounce of my being. I really do. They've got 2 people from Boston, more or less, running the Montreal Canadiens. And that's my read of this situation. So I think Jeff Petrie's contract, his age, his lack of performance, It's probably too big of a challenge to move right now. And I don't expect Jeff Petrie to go. I don't expect Brendan Gallagher to go. I don't know what you do with Brendan Gallagher. I don't know what you do. Like, I think you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. The contract is terrible. It's undeniable, but you're kind of stuck with it. So what do? You're not going to healthy scratch Brendan Gallagher. He's not going to watch from the press gallery. I don't see a world where Brendan Gallagher goes from, the minutes he plays now to single digits. I don't see that happening in the short term. So what do you do? What do you do with a guy who has no goals since November the 20th and has 3 points in his last 16 games? And 2 of those 3 points came in a game. What do you do with that? That's a tough spot for Brendan Gallagher. But I think if there's a player that deserves our benefit of the doubt, it's that guy, isn't it? The guy who's an honest worker. The guy whose care meter goes through the roof. I'm going to suggest that Brendan Gallagher is such a great pro that he's going to work his ass off to get out of this. And fearless prediction, I expect Brendan Gallagher to look more like his old self down the home stretch here. And, of course, the Montreal Canadiens have 2 more months of hockey to play. Their last game is like the 29th of April or something like that. But it's funny to say that, we're talking about a Canadiens team that lost 8-4. And Sam Montembeault was rocking like a 700 save percentage yesterday. And I think Martin St. Louis got out-coached. I think he was in over his head a little bit, and that's fine. He's learning on the fly. I'm not criticizing the new head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, but this comes with the territory of learning on the fly. And I think one lesson that we really learned in that kind of comeback game last night that they ended up losing 8-4, but they came back and tied it up at 4s in the second period with Josh Anderson's hat trick, his first as an NHLer. That speaks volumes about how bad Ducharme was, how much the players did not play for him, and vice versa for Martin St. Louis, right? Right. I mean, we're talking about, the 31st team in the league coming back from 0-4? Like, if Ducharme was the coach last night, Canadians probably give up 60 shots and lose 9-0, right? Like, that's probably what happens. I believe that. I really do. It's not like it's a hypothetical, but I think it's a hypothetical that I'm going to base in reality, right? So it speaks volumes of how bad the team was under Dominic Ducharme, why they let it sit there for that long, and how inspirational Martin St. Louis has been for this team and how badly these guys want to play for him. And part of me wonders now that I'm seeing this, and we'll see what happens in Calgary. Calgary is an excellent home team. Edmonton, on sait jamais, là. And then obviously a later game next week in Vancouver, and on we go. How Martin St. Louis touch, and if St. Louis wants to stay here, how much more attractive does that make this market and this team, knowing that it's not a quick rebuild, it's not happening overnight, that it might be seasons, plural, but does Martin St. Louis' stature, magnetism, is it strong enough to draw players here? I think it's, like I said yesterday, I'm very excited about the future for this organization because my main point that I made already is I think the team has reprioritized wins over politics and appeasing a very loud minority of those in this province that would prefer the team to, let's say, go 2-80, but have everybody born and bred, pure laine québécois, qui travaille puis joue avec les Canadiens de Montréal, right? There are people. I don't know them. Maybe you do. I don't know anybody who is of that mindset, but they do exist. I have seen it myself. They do exist, you guys. So I like the fact that the future for me is very bright. Let's see what some of the comments are coming in. Don't forget, Poutineville, Vaudreuil-Dorion is the very funny Derek Sege coming to Poutineville sold-out shows. I told you guys, Friday and Saturday. Damon Perron-Montembeault looked uncomfortable in net. He was pure bad. 6 out of 7 goals. And I agree. I mean, like I said, I think that's where Martin St. Louis kind of fumbled. I think the game was moving very fast for him. He mentioned St. Louis did after the game about the lack of flow. And it's very true. You got into that much penalty trouble The Winnipeg Jets scored 4 straight power play goals to end the game. That's how they came back, all on the power play, especially the 5-on-3. You have DeMello skating through the Canadiens like they're not even there. That's where I think Martin St. Louis probably should have pulled Sam Montembeault after the 3rd goal, and maybe the outcome is different. I don't know. Hard to say because it's not what happened. Steph Howard, I think to see what kind of rebuild we're doing will be like the Bruins and not the Rangers. Boston never tanked. Well, the Canadiens, remember this. Canadiens wanted to be good this year. They made moves to be good. Hey, Sean, got to take 11 off the power play. Weak shot, slow release. Can't play the bumper zone. Plants himself in front of the net and doesn't become an option. This is a great, great take. Thank you so much for tuning in and contributing to the discussion. I agree wholeheartedly. I think Brendan Gallagher's entire career has been that. Like, obviously, he was this pain-in-the-ass, tenacious guy that always drove to the net, but Brendan Gallagher never was a player that had a shot that was going to beat you if the goalie had a clean look at it, right? Like, his shot was never heavy. He never hit it well. He doesn't come at you with various release angles. There was nothing about Brendan Gallagher in his entire career that told you that this guy was a dynamic goal scorer. Brendan Gallagher is an honest player who goes to the net and plays a very simple north-south game, and coaches love it because there's no unsuspecting wrinkle or surprise that comes with 11's game. But I agree wholeheartedly. This is a great take. If you can't get it in front of the net, then you don't give him the power play time. I love what Aaron Ward said the other day about Martin St. Louis' tactics. Like, obviously you need veterans, but at this point, who cares if you have them or not? The future rests with Josh Anderson, Nick Suzuki, and Cole Caulfield, and we'll see if Laurent Dauphin is part of that future, Jake Evans, and so on and so forth. The veterans, not so much. Their opinion is valid, but you're not living and dying with what some of these guys are doing, like, the old way of managing your room. That's very old school, and Martin St. Louis bringing in the new school, which makes me very optimistic, very excited about what's to come. Thank you so much for watching. I'm off to the dentist again. It's not bad though. It was better than I thought. I am not a dentist guy. I will admit to you, I'm not comfortable going to the dentist. I should be better at going to the dentist. I'm very, very lucky, though. I guess it's all genetics, right? I don't really have cavities. I don't really get cavities. I hate going to the dentist so much, I floss every day, just so that when I do go to the dentist, my pain is minimized. So that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to step into the chair in 10 minutes. So if you never see me again, it's been a great ride. If I don't make it out of the chair, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting my sponsors, K-Stop, Gaspar, and Depanneur. Gas is through the roof. The tragedy of the war in Europe rages on. Day 7, Russia's invasion of Ukraine is going to impact a lot of us for the foreseeable future. And one of those impactful ways of what's happened here is the price of gas. Save yourself money by going to K-Stop, Gaspar, and Depanneur, Highway 138 in Ganawage. By going to them, you're supporting me and you're supporting my sponsors, and we certainly appreciate that. And you're saving money, which matters more than anything else. More money for you, less money to anybody else, especially as I think we're going to get to over $2. Martin Thompson, good luck, Sean. Thank you very much. I'm not nervous. I go to a great dentist, but boy, oh boy, do I hate going there. I won't hate going to Poutineville Vaudreuil-Dorion on Saturday night to see the very funny Derek Seguin. I hope you guys got your tickets. If you did get your ticket, one of the lucky people, because the show on Friday and Saturday is sold out now. It's only $20. Where can you get entertained, fall off your chair, laugh your ass off for 2+ hours for $20 anymore? Not happening anymore. But Poutineville Vaudreuil, the first Friday and Saturday of every month, for live comedy. So now that the lockdown is more or less over, and we are now 12 days away from passports and everything else, and being 100% wide open again, you can expect consistency in comedy shows from Poutineville Vaudreuil-Dorion, the first Friday and Saturday of every month. And this week, it's Derek Seguin and friends coming to Poutineville Vaudreuil Friday and Saturday. If you're there Saturday, I will be there Saturday. I'll be in the back, in the VIP section, like a boss. Come by and say hi. Maybe we'll get along. Maybe we'll be friends. Maybe we'll be best friends. You never know. So I hope to see you there Saturday night. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, back live on the air with my partner, Connor McKenna, Julie McKenzie on the 3-star quiz. We've got Mark Denis as well. So, yeah, it'll be lots of fun. I hope to see you on the radio tomorrow. And we'll stay tuned. Don't forget our mailbag. I will have the mailbag for you this Friday. I do need your emails. inthecarwithstar@gmail.com. You can send me those emails. You want to ask me a question about the Habs, about golf, about money, about love, about going to the dentist. I've got answers. I have an opinion on anything. So, but I need your questions. I will do that Friday in my car, provided by Astrid Warsham and Nissan, Quebec's #1 rated Nissan dealership. Okay, guys, off to the dentist. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your comments. Don't forget to like our page, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you on Friday. I need your emails for Ask Me Anything. inthecarwithstar@gmail.com.